Guys. Good evening. It is John C. Morley here, Serial Entrepreneur. It's actually good morning. It has been a very, very busy week, just to let you guys know. It's great to be with you, but I always promise to get these shows out before I get to sleep, whether I'm traveling, whether I'm home. The only time I don't do that is if there's some type of internet problem, which happens rarely. Okay. I've always been able to get the show out, but I do, as you guys know, stay up and make sure I get the shows out so you guys can get this great knowledge. So it is great to be with you on Inspirations for Your Life. This is the Thursday show, which is July 24th, 2025, but it is July 25th, 2025, because we're in the wee hours of the Friday morning, but I do promise to get them out before I go to bed. So our master topic for the week, guys, is the power of presence, how slowing down awakens what matters most to us. And the granular topic, I know you're just going to love this tonight or this morning, is the quiet win. Why doing less can actually give you more. Series 4, Show 30, episode number 6. All right, guys. I invite you to get yourself either some water from the kitchen. Perhaps maybe you want to get a snack. Maybe get a piece of fruit like a plum or a peach or watermelon or something like that, or just another beverage or just any other kind of snack that you like, nuts, etc., whatever it is. Feel free to get that and hurry on back. And if you have not heard about BelieveMeAchieve.com, well, why not check that out after the show? There's so much on there. You could stay up there for days watching it. There's short form content. There's long form content. There's articles. There's so much stuff. I do want to, first of all, welcome everyone here. And if you're coming for the first time, welcome from the bottom of my heart. If you're coming after being here many times, well, welcome back. So, guys, welcome. In a world where more is constantly marketed as better because that's how it is perceived, we often fall into, this trap of believing that nonstop motion equals success. But what if the real magic lies in slowing down, doing less, and focusing more? In this episode of Inspirations for Your Life, I'm pulling back the curtain on the quiet win, the often overlooked power of simplification, intentional living, and calm productivity. So join me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, podcast host, coach, engineer, graduate student, video producer, and a lot more, and a passionate person that loves to study learning. As we walk through 15 powerful insights that will reveal to you how doing less can actually help you achieve more. Are you ready? I know I am. Whether you're an entrepreneur like I am, serial entrepreneur, a student, or someone just trying to find a balance in life, this episode is just earmarked for you, and it will shift your mindset and help you reclaim, clarity, energy, and real results is what it's about. Number one, let's kick right off there. The myth of the constant hustle. I think I've heard this from my dad and so many people, John, you have to always keep moving. You have to always be doing something to be profitable. And that's not true, guys. We live in a culture that glorifies being constantly busy, as if exhaustion is a badge of honor. But the truth is, hustle without purpose leads to, burnout, not success. True progress doesn't come from overloading your calendar. It comes from aligning your actions with your values. When we recognize that our worth isn't tied to our to-do list, we begin to make decisions that truly move the needle. And what's challenging now, as you guys know, I'm in college and I'm in my last math requirement to matriculate out into my CIS MS AI major. And so I'm doing this advanced discrete course in the summertime. And it's not an easy course, guys. It's a course where we're only getting into numbers in the next couple of weeks. The course is only 7 weeks, but it's a lot of structure, a lot of notation. And now we're starting to get into certain algorithms and stuff like that. That's coming up. So number 2, quiet wins versus loud success. I know a lot of people think that if you are loud, you're successful. I'm here to burst your bubble. That's not true. Not every win comes with fireworks or social media applause. Sorry, guys. Quiet wins like setting boundaries, sleeping enough, or finishing one task mindfully are the building blocks of sustainable success. For example, when I finish the show tonight, I'm not going to push this into the podcast right away because I know it's late, but I'll get it out tomorrow. But I did get the show pushed out. So that's out live and that can be replayed. But the other stuff I'm going to do tomorrow because that's something I need to do so I can get some sleep. Tomorrow I get to sleep a little bit longer. And one of my appointments is not till like 10, but then I have a drop-off appointment with somebody. I think it's like around 8:30. So I'm not going to get up at the 5 tomorrow. I'm probably going to get up around the 7-ish. These moments, guys, may seem small, but, they accumulate into powerful momentum. Learn to celebrate the quiet victories. They're often the most authentic. And I think the reason why people don't celebrate them is they don't think there's a reason why they're there. I mean, that's really what it's coming down to. Number 3, the power of pausing. Everyone I talk to says, Sean, if you stop, you're going to miss it. You're not going to be successful. Well, sometimes you need to, slow down because you're moving too fast. You got to make the morning last. So I think that's an important piece. And I know that this can sometimes seem a little bit hard, but it's the truth. Taking a pause isn't lazy. It's really harnessing your wisdom. When you give yourself space to reflect, reassess, and recalibrate, you come back stronger and more intentional than before. The pause is where insight lives, whether it's a few minutes of deep breathing or a weekend unplugged. Pausing allows your brain to reset and your goals to, realign. Number 4, eliminate to elevate. Every yes you say is a no to something else. To elevate your life and productivity, you must be ruthless in eliminating what's not serving you. Now, I know going back to college is not an easy thing. I know that. So I know there's some sacrifices, but I also know that this is a big priority of mine. No one has told me I have to go back and get my next master's and get my PhD. No one's told me that. I want to do that. Look at your commitments and see if they're meaningful. Are they aligned with your values? Trimming the excess creates space for what truly matters to thrive. Number 5, quality over quantity. I know so many people that go places because they get so much food. They don't care about the quality of the food. They just care that they're getting so much food, right? You probably know people like that. And, when you have a chance to look at it, you're like, oh, wait a minute, this isn't really like the most, right? And the most doesn't mean like what you think it means. Doesn't mean what you think it means. It means something different. It means something different. We've been taught to think that more equals better. But in reality, doing a few things with excellence always outshines doing many things poorly. When we move fast, we make mistakes. When we slow down, we actually go faster. Focusing on delivering deep value in a few areas makes you stand out, builds confidence, and creates results that last. The compound effect of simplicity. Tiny, consistent actions lead to massive results over time. Whether it's 5 extra minutes of journaling or replacing one bad habit a week, simplicity compounds, just like the interest that compounds in your bank accounts. The easier your actions are to repeat, the more powerfully they shape your future. Think small, think daily, and stay consistent. Number 7, busy does not equal productive. I know there's a lot of managers and a lot of owners that will equate that and say it means you're productive. No, busy just means that you're utilizing energy, but you're not necessarily going to be productive. Being busy often gives the illusion of being productive. Again, it's an illusion. But real productivity comes, well, from doing the right things, not just more things. It's not about how much time you spend, it's about how effectively you use that time. See, busyness keeps you distracted. Productivity moves you, well, forward. Focus is a superpower, guys. In the age of distractions, focus is a rare and valuable asset. When you eliminate, let's say, multitasking and zero in on one goal at a time, your efficiency skyrockets. You don't need more hours, you need sharper focus. That's how goals get crushed and dreams get built. But sometimes people believe that, they don't need to focus, that they just need to move through it. They plow through it. And that's a problem, right? That's a problem. Number 9, mental bandwidth recovery. Your brain is not a machine. It's smart, but it's not a machine. It needs recovery time. It needs a break, right? What happens if you run and run and, you run, maybe you can run an hour, but then what happens if you don't take a break? Well, you collapse. When your mind is constantly in overdrive, your creativity, decision-making, and your memory, unfortunately, they suffer. Quiet time, whether through sleep, stillness, or nature, replenishes your cognitive power and lets new ideas flow freely. Intentional living. I've mentioned the word intentional before, right? Intentional means that it's aligned with your core values. You know what those are. And if you're not hitting those numbers, well, guess what? You need to change. Einstein said doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, you know what that is, guys? That is, my friends, insanity. Insanity. So don't be insane. Don't do the same thing over and over again and expect different results because you're not going to get it. That's a very important thing to understand. And it's hard for some people to brace that. Living with intention means deciding how you spend your time, your energy, and the attention before the world does it for you. So I got to tell you, one of the things I really love in my day is my moments to myself when I can just chill. This week has been busy, busy, busy. Now, I got to tell you, taking a 7-week course is not something I'm going to do all the time. Probably do it in the summertime, but it's a lot of work. And taking a math course in 7 weeks, that's one of the hardest math courses you can take. Well, it puts a tax on you. And I always pray to God, please give me strength. These assignments are not easy. I know I don't necessarily need to get an A in a class. I'd love to get an A in a class, but I want to keep my A average as my GPA. I think sometimes we spin our wheels. Like last night, I was up till 1 or 2 o'clock, just double checking the homework. Had to be all handwritten. And when I got to class today, and I thought that what I was working on was going to be on the next test, and then I was so, let's say, shooken up when I was told, oh no, John, that most of that was on test 1. The test is going to be on homework 3. And I'm like, oh. So I realized that I probably should spend my time reading more and getting familiar with the topics in chapter 4. I could always go back to the other ones if I need to, but I need to focus on what's important now and not try to do this all at once. So I think, what happens when you get these assignments, and so this class is like you get assignments, you get reading assignments every class. And so my one class, it meets 3 hours, and then it meets another 3 hours. So on Tuesday and on Thursday. And then after that class, I'm trying to go right in and study because this information, you don't want to lose it from your mind. Even talking to other students. So many people say, oh, I'm going to fail this class. And I was like, it's not that the class is impossible. If I was in college for the first time as an undergrad, I'd be like, oh my gosh, this is crazy because I had done this great in college. And it's different. And you see, as an undergrad, you only have to get a C or C plus, or even a C minus. On the graduate level, to matriculate into your program, you have to get a B or B minus. I know. But the more you practice, the easier it becomes. But I also find that you can't stay up around the clock. But I knew that I had to do that last night because if I didn't do that, then I wouldn't have been able to hand in the assignment. And the one that I turned in last week just got great. I think it was like you get 20 points, and I think I got 19. So I got one wrong. And sometimes pushing yourself to get that extra one right, that's not what's important. It's important that you are making progress. Okay. Number 10, intentional living. Living with intention means deciding how you spend your time, as I said. And attention before the world does it for you. But it's about making the conscious choices, right? That's what I'm saying to you. Life stops feeling chaotic and starts feeling purposeful. But I know that sometimes other things hit you. It happens, guys. We all have this. And we're just like, oh my gosh, what do we do? So I pray about it. And hopefully a lot of you are religious, but if you're not, then maybe you just meditate about it. One of the best times I like at home is when I'm going to sleep. And I take some moments to pray, and I take some moments to just focus on my dreams. But lately, I've been so tired that I focus on them, and I go right to sleep. Doesn't take much time. I'm literally on my back. I'm thinking about them, and it's got to be 5 minutes, I'm out. Letting go of FOMO. What the heck is FOMO? No, it's not a candy. FOMO is fear of missing out. Fear of missing out makes us say yes to things that drain us. But when you learn to value your time and peace more than people and not worrying about pleasing them all the time or external validations, because I think that's a problem for a lot of people. They're very non-self-confident. You start making wiser choices. You let go of FOMO, fear of missing out. Okay, I'm going to miss it. So, all right, no big deal. I got other things to do. I have a choice. Like, I've already made my choice that I know I got to put X hours a week to do my studying. I know that tomorrow, after I get done with the things I have to get done with my companies, I'm going to come home and I'm going to read through one of the chapters. And the chapters are about 30, 40 pages. Then I'm going to do some exercises. It's not due yet, but I'm going to do that. And by doing that, I'm going to get more comfortable so that when the homework comes out, because I already know that on Tuesday, she's going to assign homework number 3. So if I could just be a little bit ahead of that curveball, that'd be amazing, right? That'd be amazing. Number 12. Designing your quiet win plan. And you might say, John, what the heck is a quiet win plan? Well, it's a way of winning without you having to hustle to be there, right? Quiet wins don't just happen, folks. They're designed to take time to build a personal plan with micro goals. Rest has to be built in, and regular check-ins. Ask yourself, what does enough look like for me today? And I know that I can't be reading 4 or 5 chapters a night, but I can read one. And if I can just be a few days ahead of an assignment, it makes me feel very good. But when I learned today that homework 1 and homework 2 were pretty much on the first test, or they weren't. And homework 3 is what's going to be on the next test. So I got to get very competent with how to do homework 3. I've got to read chapter 4. And I think if I take it more in piecemeal like that, and just being ahead, so I know that on tomorrow I'm going to do some reading. I know I'm busy Saturday morning doing a science STEM class. After that STEM class, I'm probably going to come home, do some more reading, and then I'm going to get up early to go to church in the morning. And then I am going to go lead my hike that I do. Then I'm going to come back home. And so on Saturday, I'll have a few hours. But my micro goal is, can I just get through like this chapter? Can I just understand the material so that when these things come, because, when they're presenting class, I got to be honest with you, it's like a blur. Like, I'll never forget, like, when the board is up there. And when I say board, it's really the slides. And then she changes the slides. I'm like, I didn't finish copying that. Now, the one thing is she does post them online, so you can get that. But it's just trying to stay in the moment. First, I thought it was, because this was the thing in class, working to stay awake. Well, luckily, I've been staying awake fine. And one of my tricks is I bring fruit with me. So she does give us a break around an hour and a half into class. And then we have another hour and a half, and then the class is over. And I think when we have this notion of there's so much out there that we have to do, it could seem overwhelming. I have a lot that I do every day, but I write my goals down on pieces of paper and I cross them off. And you know what, guys? They get done. They get done. So I know, like tomorrow we have the IFYL show. We have the J Moore Tech Talk show tomorrow. There's a lot of stuff to do. So I know that if I do that, I know that I'm going to feel more comfortable. I also know that I come home after whatever it is on after my STEM class. It's usually around 1 o'clock, whatever. And I'm going to stay home and I'm literally going to do a chapter or two, and I'm going to try to understand the concepts in that chapter. Not easy. And so my goal this weekend is to get through the entire chapter 4. So that's more than we have covered in the class. But if I can get through that whole concept and just understand it, because what was taught today in class was a blur. One of the things that I just happened to make a connection to, and it was pretty easy, was factorization. And so 5 factorial is 5 times 4, 4 times 3, 3 times 2, 2 times 1. But in the class, it didn't click. When I came home, I'm like, oh, now I know what that is. Rest, guys, as a productivity tool. We often think, rest is something we earn after hard work, but it's actually a tool that fuels the work itself. Strategies rest and improving the memory and decision-making and the mood of our body. You're not being lazy. You're sharpening the saw, right? You don't want to cut anything with a dull saw. That's very dangerous. So you have to go get it sharpened. Rest before you feel burned out. And last night doing this stuff, I said, John, this is a lot. And even tonight, I said, so why did I get so behind today? I think the reason was, so I had class, and then I had to catch up from the stuff yesterday because I realized I needed to catch up. And I did catch up. But then I realized I didn't get a lot of homework done today. Again, there wasn't a lot assigned. It's mostly reading, but I want to really understand the reading so that if there's 30 pages, I'd like to read 10 pages, maybe a day. And 10 pages tomorrow night, 10 pages Saturday night, 10 pages Thursday night, and that would get me through chapter 4. And if I could know chapter 4 and I could know everything she was teaching in class, because today, like I said, it was a blur, I kind of got up and I'm like, I have to go back and just teach this to myself. And I think that's how college works now a lot, where they always say we don't have time. And if you don't want to be rushed, don't take a 7-week course. But I did this because the school teaches a 7-week course in the summertime now, and then they also do the same 7-week course in the spring and fall. But in the summertime, the courses do move a little bit quicker. And I think when you're in a course, what I've learned is you don't have to get the A in the course. You need to know enough of the course so you can do well. When I was taking one of my very first or second courses at the university toward my master's, I will tell you that one person told me, John, don't worry about learning everything. Just focus on what we're talking about. Don't worry about every detail. Number 14, guys, celebrate invisible progress. Some of your interests come from the greatest growth, right? And moments won't be seen by others, but, they count. Did you make a healthier decision today? Did you stop yourself from overcommitting? These invisible wins stack up in unshakable habits. Start tracking and celebrating them, and you'll be amazed at the transformation. So the other day, I had to call somebody because there was a client that had a balance with us. And they had been a client of ours for many years, so I didn't want to have my team call. I wanted to call. And I called, and I made the question, hey, how are you? How's everything going? Didn't ask about the bills. And I said, by the way, there's some bills that are getting close to 60 days past due. And so, I thought I paid everything before I went on vacation. And again, it wasn't an arguing match. It was just like, and so then I said, well, I can send them over to you. Now our system sends them out automatically every month if you don't pay. But it was like the person wasn't ready to pay it at that moment. So I was like, well, would you like us to handle it? And then I got thrown at me, basically kind of a little bit of a nasty attitude, telling me that anything with money, we handle that directly. You don't handle that. Okay. There's only an option. And then the person didn't pay us yesterday. They could have. Maybe they were checking their finances. Who knows? But I know one thing. I know that today, I think it was around midday, they paid us. And then we have to wait 4 days from that. So you have to not worry about everything. Like I said to you, there are going to be invisible wins, and you need to celebrate those. Doing less, being more. I think that's a very, very important thing. Incorporate these 15 powerful things into your life, and you'll see your life transform right before your eyes. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. Do check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations.